This is Team Trump, and this is our social network video case study. My name is William Brown.
Stefan Hill,
Lysandra Piercy.
and Brian Porterfield.
Our first topic that we're going to talk about is entrepreneurial traits. The first question is, what are the common traits of successful entrepreneurs? As a group, we thought that the common traits were ambition, a higher level of risk acceptance, creativity, tenacity, and rule breaking. And by rule breaking, I mean asking questions about rules, not necessarily directly breaking rules. The second question is, describe some of the characteristics of Mark Zuckerberg. Does he exhibit some of these successful traits? Are those reconciled or trumped by his success? A lot of the traits we mentioned we drew from Mark Zuckerberg. Mark's biggest traits are related to rule breaking and passion. He became more ambitious as he became successful. The third question is, describe the characteristics of the Winklevoss twins. Did some of their characteristics prove limiting? The Winklevoss twins were arrogant but smart and innovative. However, their arrogance seemed to limit their creativity. The twins seemed more worried about short-term success rather than long-term success.
Our next topic is ideas to new venture creation. When comparing the ideas of Mark Zuckerberg to the twins, how were their ideas different? Why was Mark Zuckerberg successful while the twins were left holding their rowing paddles? Mark Zuckerberg used the basic idea that the twins had and expanded it to other college campuses and eventually used other businesses' advertisements to pay for the website. The twins' idea was to only use the website on the Harvard campus as a means to connect other Harvard students. The reason the twins were left out to dry, so to speak, is because that they did not take action soon enough. Facebook had already taken flight by the time the twins decided to file suit. In advance, how do we know if an idea is good from the perspective of whether it can become a successful business? How does this relate to the Facebook versus the Harvard connection? You can think of ways to expand an idea in the future to keep a company growing. Market research is also important, so knowing what people want and finding a way to give them what they want is how you know an idea is good and will become a successful business. There is also an exceptional amount of risk you take in starting a new business because there is not a surefire way to know that a business will succeed. Mark Zuckerberg saw a future for the Facebook that the twins did not see for the Harvard connection. Therefore, Harvard connection would have only been as successful as the size of the student body, while the Facebook could conquer the world. Our next topic is company growth. Mark Zuckerberg made the choice to first expand the Facebook to as many colleges as possible versus monetizing it as lobbied for by the CFO who wanted to capitalize early on with revenue opportunities through advertising. What is different about these approaches, and do they have to be mutually exclusive? The difference in these approaches is that expanding first gets the Facebook more hits and people are more likely to sign up for something that involves no advertisements, as they can be seen as annoying. By placing ads on the website, you prevent registrants from having to pay a fee while keeping the company revenues up. These approaches don't have to be mutually exclusive. Today there are ads on Facebook to keep it free, and yet the company is still growing.
The next question for company growth: what are the options presented in the movie, and what did Mark Zuckerberg do? Was it the right thing to do in terms of business success? Well, Mark Zuckerberg wanted to expand. Severin wanted to cash out soon. Mark Zuckerberg chose to expand the business to the West Coast. Our group believes that this was the right move because this expansion led to the success of Facebook. However, Mark Zuckerberg hurt Severin by diluting his shares of Facebook. Our next topic is corporate culture. How important is culture in an organization? Do ethics play a part in that culture? The definition of corporate culture is the beliefs and behaviors that determine how a company's employees and management interact and handle outside business transactions. Culture sets up company expectations/rules to employees. This can set up success if done right or failure if done wrong. Everyone needs to be on board. And does ethics play a part in that culture? Yes, because personal ethics deal with right and wrong conduct, and negative ethics in a work environment can affect the company in a negative way. Our next topic is employment agreements. What are the lessons learned from having verbal agreements between founding members, as in this case, Mark Zuckerberg and the CEO, Edward Severn? Well, always making agreements in paper is one thing. Always leave a paper trail when starting up a company. This ensures that you always have proof of your agreements. This disallows the he said or she said argument in court.
What would you do differently, if anything, regarding using verbal agreements? Like previously stated, verbal agreements are very risky and they present difficulty when it comes to enforcement. Contracts that are on paper are easier to present in court rather than verbal because there is always a risk that one of the parties lies about the terms of agreement. The next topic is partners and peers. Describe your views of Sean Parker, the founder of Napster. Would you want Sean Parker to be involved in your company? Why or why not? What skill does he bring to Facebook as well as the negatives? Sean Parker is a very cruel individual. He stole an idea and presented it as his own to get rich. As a group, we would not want Sean Parker involved in our company because of the ethical liability and lack of integrity. Having someone like that in your company is a negative image. Because of his prior experience with Napster, Sean Parker brought all of knowledge to Facebook and was familiar with the formatting. The negatives he brought was his arrogance and constant bragging about his money. The next topic is intellectual property. Did Mark Zuckerberg violate any intellectual property laws? No. Intellectual property laws protect inventions with patents, creative works with copyrights, and trade names with trademarks. Because the original idea was not copyrighted, patented, or trademarked, Mark Zuckerberg's new idea did not violate intellectual property. There are protections specifically for ideas, such as documents, covenant not to compete, and a non-disclosure agreement. Because twins did not include a non-disclosure agreement in their work, it was perfectly legal.
And this is our screencast on the social network assignment. Thank you for watching.